synergizes nicely.
Pick inch. Oh, just boring.
Hey, you guys said at the start of this that you wanted to see them go for stuns, and more stuns
I
in
did.
their lineup.
I also want to see, now I thought about it more, a bit of like a snowball in the early game too.
Alright, they're literally picking their exact same lineup they did last game. They picked Mirana, Sand King, Ogre, and then they had PA and Bat Rider.
We'll see. I mean, Bat is good versus Medusa, but not so good
Not
anymore.
anymore.
So that's interesting. Q normally is playing in the safe lane and always playing Grimstroke. Now they have an Abaddon, which could be their off. No, it's not. But is it a pos for Abaddon, or are they gonna switch things up and they're gonna put Grim on a different role for this game? They could also just lane swap and put Q in the off lane with the Brewmaster and Abaddon. I think Abaddon in this game wants to just sit with the Medusa, and you want to be a bit more
Why do you favor
aggressive.
that a little bit more?
I mean, Medusa just wants to farm. You're not really gonna. I talked about it earlier how this Grimstroke Medusa lane is very underwhelming. You don't have any kill threat, and when you're playing Grimstroke, you do want to get kills in the lane because your trading is not very good on the hero.
Okay.
So then Abaddon is also similar, where he can solely bully heroes out of the lane. We've seen it before with the Curse of Avernus and just right-click people down, and that makes a lot of space for Medusa. So I think that'd be a better pairing. Whereas Grimstroke Brew, there's a lot of kill potential there. They could even kill Ogre in the lane, to be honest with you. And they have to be a little careful on their carry pick. And I think that PA is looking pretty likely. No, I think it looks likely at this point because it's good versus Brew and Grim, but Jug's fine. They just need a hero that can disengage from getting chased down, right?
Yeah. I was gonna say, it just looks so hard now for Apes to execute their lineup because you can't chain stun a Brewmaster with an Abaddon behind him, so he's always gonna get his split off. You have like no damage to kill the split either. Everything just looks sad.
Yeah, I preferred the PA over the Jug here, if I were to be totally honest.
Yeah.
It's like you Omni Slash in, and Medusa's just so tanky, and Abaddon can just press his ult and just absorb it as well.
Yeah.
And Brewmaster split. Just Omni Slash just looks so bad this game, and he has an Ogre, I guess, which is great for buffing. If he had a Mag, I might be like, okay, maybe he can carry this game. But I'm a bit afraid for the Juggernaut in this game.
We can still mag, bro. We can put a mag mid. I don't think I've seen Momodire on it, but we can do it, baby. Woo! Actually, no, he plays Magnus. Momodire actually plays Magnus.
They said they wanted to play some new strats, some new heroes. That's what they said in their interview.
Yeah, let's get it.
That's it. We've big brained it. We know exactly what they're gonna pick.
I mean, there's... what do I think? I'm thinking Momodire. There's obviously, like, his Conquer that he loves to play, but I wouldn't mind seeing something with even more like lockdown, like a puck or something to kind of try and disrupt these fights, stop Abaddon and Brewmaster from getting their spells off. It was something he played a lot in the past. He plays a lot of Void Spirit, or he did. I don't really know what he's been doing lately.
Yeah, they don't want to get cheesed on Talon. They already banned Viper, Huskar. They get last pick on Talon though, so it looks like they're just banning to make sure whatever they last pick has a decent game. But I do think on Talon, they need a hero that can use the syncs well, because Brewmaster is a bit of a farm heavy type of hero. He doesn't really make a lot of space. Sure, you can ulti around the tower and objectives and get stuff done, but he's not like getting pickoffs, right? And they kind of need a hero like that. That's why they banned the Ember on Apes Esports.
Yeah.
And I think that's a classic for them. Oh, actually, Apes had last pick, sorry. And you said his Kunkka was one of his better heroes, right?
Best.
Yeah,
by
they're
far.
respect ban there.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I mean, back in the day, like last season, they were just first phasing his Kunkka like every game. So I guess
Wow.
I'm guessing this team just kind of functions differently draft-wise, where they prioritize other things instead. Or maybe he thinks Kunkka's not as amazing as it used to be. I still think it's fine, but
You don't see it mid that often anymore.
he was the man, though. He played him in every game. Every game.
Well, not this game.
Yeah.
Not gonna be happening. But for Talon, what would you like to see as their last pick? Are they really missing anything?
Yeah, they need someone who can get in there. See, all three
Apart from
spirits are banned. The Sand King's taken. We got some Ricky mid. I don't know, something that just jumps in there. Like, they need a hero that can make space because Deuce is gonna be farming. It doesn't need a lot of farm. This is a bit of a tricky one for Talon because you think spirits right away, but they're all gone. And Quap is not particularly that hero. So it's a little awkward, and I think this is just because they don't have a better choice. And they're picking blind as well.
What about just picking like a Lina? I remember last patch, Lina.
On Talon or on
No,
Apes?
no, on Apes.
No, that's good. I
Yeah.
actually like it. It could be really good because I don't think Jug's gonna solo carry this game. It's just not gonna happen, and it's good in lane. Oh, good call.
Lena, love to see it. And so Aries and Danog are going to be joining us so that we can have a chat about this lineup. Do you guys like the final direction that Apes ended up taking, Danog?
Yeah, I think it was pretty good. I mean, the Lina offers a good amount in the laning stage, and I think it was Toronto Tokyo that talked about it as well, that late game, Lina just offers so much more than a Queen of Pain. It's not just all of that burst damage at once. You've got that, plus a lot of sustain, which is great as well. I actually have a question for you guys. How long do you think this game will last? Because these two teams end games in like 30 minutes or less. So what do you reckon?
You guys want to start?
25 minutes in Talon when Deuce is slotted. She's just gonna walk down a lane. And win.
Right.
26 minutes.
32.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm just saying numbers at this point. You guys can guess as well. And Aries, I want a little bit of analysis from you too.
Okay, well, I'm also in agreement. We were kind of both looking for the Puck, Danog and I, but I think the Lina just in general has a pretty good matchup versus the Queen of Pain, so we'll see how that's able to fare. Real quick, we did this before as well last time where we were saying minutes on towers and we didn't say the seconds, so we have to be a little bit more precise here. I don't like this.
All right, I'll change mine. 32 minutes and 20 seconds.
What? 25 minutes and 57 seconds.
26 minutes and 3 seconds.
Wow, there you go. I hope you like the preciseness, but we're going to jump into game number 1 with Danog and Aries.
Thank you very much. See, if you get it right now, if you're actually on the dot, if you're precise with the minute and the second, you just feel so much better about yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, there has to be some sort of prize for that. Maybe we can get a compliment to Mate or something like that. But what do you think? You know, the panel's given their thoughts. What minute and time do you think we'll see for this game? And which team do you think will take out the win?
I think Talon's a better team. I think this is an exceptionally dope Lina pick. I think this Lina carries this game. I'm a big fan of Lina, even though people don't rate her at the moment. I think because we're not seeing a lot of Eastern Europe, people aren't seeing how strong this hero really can be. We've seen it a little bit. We saw Moon actually carry with the Lina really recently. So I'm not a big fan of the Jug build pick in general. I think Jikro has to go Diffusal Blade and look to just get online really early and create chaos. I think the Lina wins in this game though, but it's Talon, and that's a very...
Yeah, on this patch, they're 30-2. That is their win-loss record, 30-2. And Apes, they're on the other side of the coin. I do like the fact that they were going for this 5-man smoke play to try and catch someone out. They've got very strong level 1, just with all of their stuns and slows and damage that they've got. But wisely enough, Talon, they're looking to play around a lot of their vision and a lot of their towers as well. Yeah, you and I were both kind of wanting something like a Drow Ranger, perhaps, instead of this Juggernaut, just because at the time... there was no real gap closer that they had on Talon's side, and a lot of them were banned out in that last ban phase, so perhaps a little bit of a missed opportunity. But when you're going to go this Lina, we see it time and time again where the Lina is in reality the one that is the true carry for this game. So I wonder if Jikro is going to go a little bit more of an aggressive style build, just something that enables him to get active super early on and play around the Lina when it's time to take those towers.
All right. Danog, I've told myself I'm going to go Apes. I will regret it afterwards, and I know I'm behind in our little war that we're having on at the moment, and I just feel like you're going to go for the basic Talon prediction, so...
Well, you need to know me better, because Apes together strong. I like this Apes draft a lot more than Talons, so I'm going to go for the Apes as well.
I might
Don't
go
take
Talon
my
now.
word for it, though.
I might go Talon.
It's locked in. Too late, it's locked in.
So... I'm trying to think of when now this game's gonna go. I think if I'm favoring Apes, I gotta feel like probably I'm gonna go 42 minutes and 13 seconds. I didn't give my kind of timing before, but good luck getting to that stage, because Talon, I mean, we've seen how fast they can dominate over their opponents. We've seen 17-minute victories against Motivate Trust, and like you said, they have an exceptional win-loss on this patch at the moment.
Yeah, but that wasn't with the Medusa, though, right? Like, Talon, they haven't picked the Medusa for quite some time, even though it's a 23 Savage staple. So the game is probably going to skew a little bit longer, you would think. Maybe towards that 35, 40-minute mark. And again, it's not going to be the Juggernaut looking to out-carry this Medusa by any means. It is going to be the Lina, so I want to see Apes try and make some plays around that mid lane once Sand King hits maybe level 3 and is able to make a few plays on his own, because, you know, like we've said a few times now, there's no real big kill threat on this top side from Savage and Q, right? Like, Dalil should have a fine time to enable Lim to look to make these rotations.
Well, bottom lane, we got some action though. UK should end up going down with one more right click. Hyde finds the damage required as Jikro is trying to get a return kill, but he doesn't have the movement speed to catch up, and maybe the Juggernaut has overstepped the boundaries. KP finds another one.
He didn't stick. He had 8 stick charges, and the same thing coming through with UK as well. He had 4 tangos. Didn't end up using one when they were going for that little trade there. Although
Savage gonna die top as well. Burrow strike up in 3 seconds. They won't even need it. All right, Apes. Bottom lane not looking good, but who gives a damn? You've got your tried and true combo here with the Mirana Sand King, and it pays off.
Yeah, I like this though from Q. He obviously returns to the lane. It's going to be nice for him to get a little bit of that extra farm, but drags it out of the tower range, making sure 23 Savage is the one to claim all of that. And honestly, wouldn't even hate to see Q run out of experience range altogether, just to make sure that the Deuce is able to catch up to that and not be quite as vulnerable to those ganks.
Well, the lane where we haven't had all the kill action going on, looking pretty favored for my main guy at the moment. 19-5 compared to the 12-0. And Lina, one of the better heroes to be able to lane verse the Queen of Pain, just because of your outrange and how you can even trade just with Dragon Slave. It's always a threat for the Quap to overstep.
Yeah, extra 120 attack range is just ridiculous for the laning stage. It means that you really can't do too much. And you also need to take into account like the creep aggro radius as well. So a lot of the times if you position yourself correctly, the creeps aren't even going to hit you when you're looking to harass out the enemy mid laner. So Among Dire playing a comfort hero and doing a great job already. Then had the luxury. Oh, Dalil might be in a little bit of trouble, but is able to get away in time that they're not able to get the full Curse of Avernus stacks onto him. But they stole away the bounty rune, of course, so that is one of the ways that the Lina can look to perhaps not have quite as strong of a laning stage if you're able to, you know, get that regen up from Makoto. And wisely enough, they did make the rotation through from Hyde to ensure that the Quap did get that bottom water rune at least. But still, even with that, he's forced to run all the way back to base. I'm assuming that he's just going to keep spamming out this wave.
Jikroy, I'm not going to step on the jug. So Fear was mentioning that Apes put a lot of attention on banning out KP's heroes. We saw the Dragon Knight was one of them, and now of course the other Death Prophet, and now the others are kind of going past my mind here. But he was saying that he's got to go deep inside his hero pool, and well, we get a KP Brewmaster, Danog. This is a staple for my man, and he plays it exceptionally well. Do you feel like it's a good brew game though?
I think it's okay. I mean, you need something that is going to be able to disrupt the damage that's looking to come through, right? Because if Dusa lives, that's all really that your priority is right now. That's why I was kind of wanting from Apes to get something that's able to build into a silence, because A, it's good against Brewmaster, who doesn't like going into the BKB. B, it's good against the Abaddon, because, you know, if it's a stun, then Q is just able to use the borrowed time and to use the Aphotic Shield for effectiveness in teamfights. If you're silenced, that's not necessarily a factor, but I can't really see anyone on Apes that likes to build into an Orchid.
A minor thing, top lane, but the Dalil Sand King, he had to TP out at the threat of Talon overstepping, and well, as soon as they avoided him, he just cancelled his TP, so he's still chilling in the lane. It's a nice little play from Dalil, so he's able to continue playing against the Medusa as mid, though. We've got a lot of action. Then along with UK trying to play with Mangaya. Oh, the first stomp, but instantly taken off. Great reactions from Q.
Lim was just off the mark there with being able to hit that Sacred Arrow. That would have been a kill for sure, secured. I mean, we have to also consider, like, Lina, we've talked about how strong she is in lane, but they also gave her a little bit of a buff with the Laguna Blade. Now it costs 100 less mana than it used to for that first one, so it just enables so many more of those kill threats early on. I feel like he's been playing a good game, right? Like, he enabled that kill onto the top side. He's been able to leave the Sand King to get a lot of this solo farm. He's stolen away both of the bounty runes. He's gone and secured the top rune. He's gone for that kill mid. It's exactly what he needs to be doing.
I will not forget. And it's also once Lim's able to hit level 6, we can see maybe some aggressive plays with the Moonlight Shadow as well. Because I feel like Apes, they want to be pushing the tempo and just slowing down all the farm that Savage can get in the jungle.
Yeah, for sure. And you can see Jikro, his build, he's going into that Diffusal Blade. I'm a little bit worried about you're going to be lacking somewhat in attack speed because you still need to get a lot of attacks in to make sure you're getting that Diffusal burn through onto the Medusa. But I mean, honestly, with all the stuns that they have, even the burn onto someone like the Brewmaster, just preventing him to use the Primal Split can be pretty effective too.
I mean, you do have the Bloodlust though from UK. Of course, he hasn't gone for a level just yet, pretty early on, but I imagine he's going to put some emphasis on helping out Jikro, who does have the level 6. He's really struggling with last sitting on the jug, only 27. I've been watching him for a little bit down bottom, and he's seen quite a few last hits that would be unexpected because it's not really contested from KP.
And unfortunately for him, KP's just going to hit up onto level 3 here with this creep that dies. So I was thinking maybe with the phase boots that Jikro just had delivered, plus the stun, they could try and get a kill onto the Brewmaster, but now it's not going to be a factor. The Fire Blast isn't going to be able to provide enough of a lockdown to prevent Primal Split from going off.
We're going to see Mikoto rotating down.
Rotation. Yeah, good Observer Ward placed down there in a somewhat unorthodox spot. Just to give all of that information away. But again, Among Dire, he's lucking out a little bit here with the DD rune on the top side. I think they might look to put a little bit more pressure in onto this mid lane. Actually, now that Savage has made the rotation through.
What do you want to see though from Apes? Because you just spoke about the attention that could be put to mid, but do you want to see them also go top now, knowing that it's just an Abaddon protecting the tower, and maybe with your ultimates you could get a very early tier 1 to open the map?
Feels like that's what Jikro's thinking. He's like, man, I'm tired of being able to be last hit by this Brewmaster. Just the value point in the Drunken Brawler is so strong with the Cinder Brew, so Jikro feels like he can get a whole lot more out of this top side, even though he's not taking the farm from the lane. So Dalul getting that one. A lot of the tower damage is going to be on him.
Lane though,
Magi, not the greatest at being able to defend.
Yeah, he's in a bit of trouble. Of course, KP really doesn't want to use the Primal Split. And UK is going to make him work for it. Another Tango to be able to cut through the trees as KP continuing the chase. And up with the Stroke of Fate landing. It's space! That's all it is. Space created, but no one else comes down. They're just happy with what they're getting out of the map. And you see Momang Dia farming out at the Ancients. He's top of the net worth and looking for a first item BKB.
I think that's exactly what you need to do, right? You can't just go into this fight where you need to outpace a Medusa and look to just get thrown up into the air by KP, right? He's going to be looking for the Lina, the main source of consistent damage that I was talking about with that Wind Panda. So BKB going to be the thing that ends up being able to counter that.
For me right now, if Apes don't get this top tower before Talon take... Oh, actually, okay, bottom has barely been touched at all, so they should be able to get top. But I'm concerned that if Talon get this tier 1 tower first, then they can move top to defend with the first Primal Split. Which,
I mean, the fact that Q's only died that one time in lane, and now he's level 6, like, it means that a lot of this aggression isn't really going to do all that much by the Sand King and the Mirana. I was kind of expecting them to get a little bit more active. Mid tower's taken a fair bit as well. A big part of why that bottom tower was still so healthy is, the space created by UK. It meant that they had to chase him instead of hit the tower, and even toss the Bloodlust onto the tower just so it would push away the wave a little bit faster.
Oh, there we go. No concerns about the potential of Talon being able to defend top, but I feel like now the play for KP is thinking about rotating on mid. The Brewmaster, with your first ultimate of the game, we see it so often where you just sweep behind the enemy's T1 tower, and it gives you so much more map to be able to play with than just blocking off an avenue to retreat away with 3. Brewlings can always be a scary task for the opposition.
Certainly not getting a ton of farm here on the supports and valuing the experience for them as well. But Lim, he's got the Tome of Knowledge coming out to him at the moment. I believe just sticking with the 1 point in the Bloodlust. But yeah, again, Mamang Dia just looking to play around that mid lane. They know that he is the main damage source. And I believe it's a Blade of Alacrity as well for Jikro. So his farming is going to pick up a little bit. It's important that he does ensure that he gets that Diffusal Blade nice and early before the Medusa can look to get into anything like the Manta style.
Do you feel like Apes are happy with the slow-paced start that we have to this game?
I honestly feel like they have a decent amount of kill potential, so probably not as much. I would be feeling a lot more confident in them if they were able to, you know, maybe have the mid tower taken by this point, if they didn't die a couple of times there on the bottom lane, which probably shouldn't have happened. But overall, it's okay, right? It's not amazing, it's not terrible, it's okay.
You could say the same for Dire, though, I suppose. Like, we haven't seen a Sonic Wave used, we haven't seen a Primal Split used, which often these two ultimates in themselves can easily secure a kill.
I think Talon's mindset is just, look, we just need to make sure we're saving these to ensure Savage doesn't die and he continues to farm, because we've got faith in him to be able to just outcarry anyone in this game.
Eyes on top. Jikroy can always Blade Fury TP up, but the Lord doesn't really have this opportunity. He's going to go for a TP for the Inkswell, and nice reactions. That is one of the big issues that Talon have with their lineup, and how they can make plays without the stuns is very awkward.
Well, I actually don't have any stuns outside of the Inkswell. I didn't even notice that until now. You're not going to pop a KP split just to ensure that kill. So as long as you get the TP off before the Inkswell starts, you're golden. 3 second on the pop still, so nicely done. Well, now you've got that BKB finished up by Mamang Daya, so wonderful. Look to see a bit of a connection through to this mid lane. Dalil doesn't quite have the Blink Dagger. Maybe you'll just look to play around the general area. Actually, they're going to go for a bit of a backstab here. I think they're going to try and find out the Medusa farming inside the triangle. If she's not there, doesn't really matter. They can look to connect through onto mid with Mamang Daya for a lot of that damage.
They don't have Blink yet on Dalil, so this smoke's a bit awkward.
I think it's fine if you come in from the backside, right? Like I was talking about. But they've been off the map for quite some time now, and this bottom lane, it's so enticing, right? Someone wants to farm this, especially when you know the Sand King doesn't have Blink Daggers. So either they're going for a smoke and he doesn't have it, or they have it, and they're still going for a smoke.
KP's going to charge in. But he's got UK standing behind him. Are they able to turn and block KP with all the ultimate? Oh! KP going too aggressive in the mid lane as Mamang Dai stands his ground off the back of the BKB. And now they can turn the aggression onto their own T1 tower.
That's the power of the Moonlight Shadow, right? They're able to get that little bit of a disengaged Jikroy. He was threatened by Makoto, and he would have seen him make the rotation up top. Wisely enough, he didn't TP, but it still means that they're able to continue this aggression forward. Try and block up a few of the Medusa's camps. Nicely done by UK. Yeah, everything that Apes are doing right now is pretty good. You know, you can't make too many big faults out of it outside of that the couple of kills in the laning stage.
So they call it bottom lane. KP once again. Hang on a second, KP. Not a second death in a row.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, what's going on? Apes, 2,000 net worth lead, and a couple of back-to-back kills on KP's really going to slow down the Brewmaster's game.
Mm-hmm. So right now, Dalil is just looking to push out this wave one more time. He's got the Blink Dagger picked up with that kill. You've got the Diffusal Blade as well. Lina just a little bit away from the Boots of Travel, but don't think it matters. You just want to consistently be looking to make the plays. You know that the Medusa wasn't able to farm this Ancient Camp because you body blocked it previously, but she could be looking to make that rotation through. And oh, this Observer Ward has lasted quite some time on the Dire jungle side, so they know exactly where 23 Savage is. Let's see if they look to make a play around that.
They, without a
the
dash.
one you want to find, though.
Yeah.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
He's just looking to play around that nighttime. He's playing around his vision, basically saying, look, Savage can't see me unless they've got warded. I got to make sure I'm playing along the top side. And could they actually get the catch here with the invis?
They might be able to. Mamang Dai, but they've got a sentry laid down to an instant Stowgaze into the retreat. And now Jikroy.
Oh, no, he's looking. He's looking.
He turned towards the Medusa, and now there's no way he can TP out as Jikroy gives a freebie over to Talon. It's a much-needed kill as well, considering the status quo of this game.
A couple of
He's got a happy force to TP up, and Makoto drops the first Sonic Wave of the game as well. So they will get 2 kills across the map.
Yeah, it was just a couple of small mistakes there, right? Like, Juggernaut didn't need to walk in just yet. You needed the Lina to get the stun off through the invis. They didn't have it warded up enough to be able to see it. And for whatever reason, he kept trying to right-click into her after the Stone Gaze broke. So, ended up getting the stun. Didn't even use the Diffusal Blade onto the chasing Brewmaster.
Should be enough to tick out Hyde in the Sandstorm. But KP's ultimate is getting nothing out of it. Reinforcement starting to step in from the high ground, but it's just Q, and he doesn't provide them any damage. So a wasted primal split.
Couple small misplays coming through, but you just got to keep going, right? Like, this is... You're playing against a Medusa drop.
Is he gonna solo kill the Medusa? Man is completely gone in a savage couple. No! Finish your food, son! Mamang Dai is gonna Quelling Blade, but he can't cut through the trees as the Lina gets a huge solo kill onto 23 Savage. And then Roshi.
Yeah, you gotta get aggressive. Like, what can you do? No Medusa, no Sonic Wave, no Primal Split. Why not?
Apes strong together. They're delving up. First Roche looks to be uncontested without the split, without the Sonic Wave. Wow, what a good start.
And I mentioned a little bit of concern about the attack speed from Jikroy, considering he went for this early Diffusal Blade build. You know, it's not the 2 Blades of Alacrity anymore. But, I mean, you're going into a Solar Crest on Lim. You've got the Bloodlust as well. So I feel like you're using both of those onto Jikroy just to make sure you're getting as many right clicks in as possible during that Omni Slash. Maximum value out of the Diffusal Blade.
Oh, we've seen UK play this Ogre Magi a lot. You know, back on his previous team on Army Geniuses, and I think we actually had an interview where we spoke to him about the Ogre and kind of the item build and when do you look for Midases. And look at this, Danog. He's going Midas.
I'm not sure how crazy I'm about it as a certified Ogre enjoyer. I feel like if you've got this early advantage, you want to keep pressing it as much as possible. And Midas does the exact opposite of that. It's playing for the late game, which you don't want to happen.
What item does that, though? Because I would say, sure, Solar Crest, but Lim's already going for that.
I don't know, maybe something like even a Veil would be pretty decent.
They will kill off UK in the river. So at least that's it. I'm from Talon, able to get something across the map. I imagine raiding. Do they trade tier 2 top for mid? They've got a glyph if they want to get set up.
Yeah, they pop the glyph minimum. Actually, Among Gaia can make the move up top here with the Boots of Travel. So I think they're very happy to make this trade, making the most out of this Aegis timing. Going for that Shadow Blade build as well here on Mamang Daya. Just wanting to get more and more aggressive, try and find out the Medusa before she's able to build into more of those defensive items. You've already got the Sanjin Yasha, so that's going to be able to help with a lot of the stun reduction timings, because you've got an Abaddon, sure, but you've got one way to dispel a lot of these things. You've got to have some kind of backup beyond that. Yeah, they're kind of saying, look, just keep pushing top, man. What do they got? We need to try and force them to fight up into us. If they can get a pick off into that top lane pushing, especially with the tower pushing in, maybe they can bait out a TP onto the top side, and then they can absolutely go for one of these kills. But look at Talon. They're playing around each other and they know. Yeah. I'm going to try and get out, but that is a fast Lina.
The Lul's got the follow-up, and with Q's position, they're able to dodge the arrow. The Momong Dai still has the Dragon Slave from afar, so Lina up to a killing spree now. We do see, though, feels like for Talon, for me, what I'm looking at is KP has to drop a defensive Primal Split down bottom. He might get the kill on UK, but he's sticking around for quite some time. What's the escape avenue, KP? You get the kill, but it's an Ogre. You're not even going to get the kill. KP?
All right. I mean, maybe the mindset of Talon is, look, anything that could just bait a lot of people into TPing down into the bottom side means that our Deucer isn't dying.
Oh, Mamang Dai just missed the LSA. With level 3 ult, he probably would have solo killed Makoto. That was so close.
Mm-hmm. Let's have a look at what the vision's looking like for Talon right now. It's all placed on the other side of the map. You know, it's not going to really catch out any of these aggressive attempts, but I suppose...
Makoto? Okay, that's BKB has to be popped. He just blinked super aggressively once again to try and kill a support, but I think the point you were trying to make before is it's just space. Is that what they're kind of saying to themselves? Like, Savage is getting farmed?
It goes both ways, right? Because you don't have this Aghanim Scepter picked up yet for the Brewmaster, and now that you don't have BKB on Makoto, there is nothing stopping them from pushing. Like, they've still got a minute left on this Aegis. The Glyph was popped more recently. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they tried to go into high ground somehow, just because most of the time you wait for second Aegis, but second Aegis might be a little bit too late. So let's see if Apes want to continue pushing their advantage. All of their ultimates available. Minute left on Aegis. No BKBs available for Talon. Doing their best to just shove out these waves as much as possible. So Talon responding to it correctly.
I brought up the Scepter before for Talon in particular for KP, and I think that's the big way because...
Oh, just missed again. He had Q next to him anyway, so he would have had the Aphotic Shield to be able to prevent the death, and I like that. They're making sure that they're playing a support with a core at every single time, and KP, unfortunately, 5 members on a team is an odd number, so someone's got to be left out on their lonesome, and he always seems to play that role in his teams. Doesn't matter what hero it is, whether it's Omni Knight, Legion Commander, Brewmaster, always seems to be KP just left to fend for himself a little bit.
Kodo's getting trailed throughout the jungle. Actually going to blink to follow up on Jikro, who's already used the Blade Furious, but the Juggernaut once again, a preemptive use of his abilities. He's going to have to use the Omni Slash. It's more of a defensive one, just to hope the Blade Fury comes back up, protect him through the invulnerability. But off to the southern side, by the outpost, they also lose Delul, so a couple of mistakes from Apes is giving a window for Talon to enter back into this game. Okay, a TP out. Where's the cancel? These are not there, so still 2 heroes being bled.
I didn't even see what happened to Delul there. He's just gone completely off the side of my radar. What was it, a Grimstroke and a Medusa? They shouldn't be able to get a kill onto a Sand King when you've got 1 stun to be able to enable that. So I'm a little surprised that they didn't fully connect to Jikroy, or rather he didn't look to try and spin away a bit closer to his team to make sure that they had that connection ability.
This is scary now, Danog. You got Scardy on Savage, and KP just needs 700 gold, and I think that's when Talon are 100% online, and they should be very comfortable in team fights off the back of that, unless there's a little bit better execution from Apes in these fights.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it still is you've got to go. You got to go right now because it's reaching that point. I think if it gets past 25 minutes and Talon haven't been disrupted in terms of their farm, they've got this game. Their late game is completely secured for them. You'll have that increased team fight impact with KP having the Aghanim Scepter, and it feels like they've missed their window a little bit. And they didn't do too much wrong in the first 20 or so minutes on Apes, but it just doesn't feel like they made quite enough impact happen as a result of that first Aegis.
And even just the item builds they've gone for as well were maybe not enough impact, because Jikro went Diffusal Blade, but we see how far behind his net worth is. Like, this is it's a fighting item. It's nothing like a Maelstrom or a Battle Fury. You don't have this innate farming mechanic like the Deucer and Split Shot, so she's really far ahead, about 6,000 gold on 23 Savage compared to the counterpart.
And the levels as well, like a full 4 levels almost ahead. So it's kind of crazy how much space he's been able to make. He's got the Manta style now at least, so can do a little bit of that ghost pushing, force waves in, force reactions out of Talon, and hopefully try and get a response out of that. I'm just really kind of thinking what Ape's next big timing is, because waiting around is not the way to go.
I think there's still a window for Apes where if they kill Brewmaster at the start of the fight, which I think they can with Bow Strike into Arrow into Lina Burst, then I think they're going to be okay in fights and then kite the Deucer afterwards. But imagine KP might actually consider like an Aeon Disc next item just because of how vital this split is going to be for the fights.
Yeah, all of the controllers coming through from them. Again, let's have a look at the vision. There's plenty up on this high ground next to KP, so this Moonlight Shadow isn't going to result in too much of anything. It feels like Talon are playing the map very well, just looking to avoid a lot of these stuns, and the net worth graph is going to tick over in favor of Talon very shortly.
Dire are scanning.
In my eyes, once Savage has this BKB, it's over. Like, you had a great early game on Apes, and it's a really valiant effort. I know I'm calling it a little bit early, but it just does feel like they had this huge opportunity that they've let slip by the wayside.
There you go. Savage BKB now. Disassembled the Dragon Lance. What's a game plan for Dire? You do have some decent wards positioning at the bottom side as Makoto. Well, Delul didn't want to charge up. He's got the Lincolns and BKB, so Very difficult to kill Makoto. Did they? They could also roast just on a side note. There's a DD now. I think you force a fight.
Huh. I mean, yeah, they've just changed it over. Okay, so Dalul had the Tumblr's toy previously, and luckily enough, the old-fashioned Lincoln's Breaker, Fey Grenade, was able to be picked up from Apes, so they end up giving it over to him, so they've got that way to get that Lincoln's Break before the stun. Oh, this is happening.
Please don't group up. Please don't group up. Oh, Dalul's gonna...
Oh, they know. The element of surprise is gone.
Eye with their wards. See how they can play around this. Talon 5-man smoke. It's just Slim solo at the moment. Smoke's gonna pop. Then he's got a couple of leap charges to the high ground. He goes. Makoto a little bit paranoid about jumping. He's actually gonna use the sonic wave from afar. Where's the epicenter though from Dalul? Once again, Makoto creating chaos for Apes. They're on the retreat, but there we go. The jump in onto Savage, but 23 Savage just stands his ground, tickling the Medusa as Talon. They are online. How can you kill off the Medusa with all these items? A completely wasted Omni Slash as Q's able to tank all through the damage. Now it's on Mamang Dai to turn this fight around. All eyes on the Lina with how she's able to stand her ground with the BKB, but once again, turned to stone at the attempt to TP out. And 23 Savage and Makoto finding all the kills they need to lead back into the Roche pit as they are happy with that skirmish.
It's just the multiplication of a lot of little errors, right? They had the jump. They knew exactly where they were. If they get that epicenter inside the pit, completely different fight because you had all of the vision at the time, but instead using the sandstorm a little bit early gives that away. They're able to set up how they want on Talon instead. And it was just things like Mamang Dai getting tossed up in the air by the Brewmaster before he's able to pop the BKB, getting caught out on the Lina, a great sonic wave coming through. Oh, he got the shard. But, you know.
Oh, who do you give that to?
Dieback timer? It's his dieback timer as well. I feel like you give it to Jug. You just need some sort of way to continuously hit, you know, get more of that diffusal blade value out of every time you use your Q.
Oh. It's a tricky position to be now in Apes. I still believe in the Lina, but you're down 2,000 gold. You got the Aegis onto 23 Savage and bottom lane Makoto once again jumping aggressively in. The BKB protect him and he's got KP standing behind him as well. UK's gonna end up losing his life. Dalul still charging up the epicenter, trying to run into Makoto. Nice use of the Fey Grenade. Popping the Lincoln so the Burrow Strike can lock him into place, but they're still in trouble. The Soulbinder duo running straight into 23 Savages. Now Dick Rui, there's no way he can Blade Fury TP out. It's still on cooldown. Now Dalul's the next on the agenda. Trying to run through the tree line and Talon will not be able to catch up to the Sand King, but you do get the position 1 from Apes.
I'm not going to call them out yet either. I mean, Mamang Dai, he needs to pick up this Satanic. He needs to be able to be, like I was saying during the draft, that consistent damage source for a lot of the team. Oh man, you want to give the Blast Rig over to the Sand King, but he needs that Fey Grenade to be able to enable the initiation. And the other thing that I really saw that was a big issue in that previous team fight near the Roche pit was that they never seemed to sync up all of their skills together. You know, there was BKBs used separate to each other. There was an Omni Slash used outside of the epicenter timing. You didn't use the Laguna Blade. You didn't use, you know, this, that, and the other. And fortunately, they're just tanky enough now on Talon that you didn't make the most out of that early lead that you had and the first Aegis that's not going to work. You need to commit everything. I know it's scary to do it because if it doesn't work out, they just run down your lanes, but it's the sort of thing that you have to try and commit to do.
Okay, Q's position. Just following Savage hand in hand, making sure he's close proximity where he can get the float shield off, miscoil, whatever needed to keep Savage alive. I've been very impressed with Makoto and how he's performed this game as well. It's not an easy Queen of Pain game. Won the lane against Selena, but they've got a lot of stuns to deal with the Quap. But we just saw the BKB, Lincoln's Rush, and as soon as Makoto had these two items, his idea of how to take fights was to jump aggressively, get in the middle, create chaos, allow Savage to run through, make sure they can't focus down the Primal Split as well. I just really like the read that Makoto has had through these fights.
Yeah, and that's why Talon, you know, when there was this big quiet period, I'm like, all right, well, they're just banking on Savage to be the one doing the vast majority of the damage in a lot of these engagements. Makoto, he's built purely defensively, right? The BKB, the Lincoln Sphere, and I guess his spells are going to do a decent amount of damage, but not needing the things like the Kyra and Sanj now until his third item. So it was really just making sure that you have this hero that you can stick in onto the front lines along with KP to enable to do so.
Okay, Chikuru's finally going to pick up the shard, it looks like.
And you've got a TD, and you've got... Oh, okay, he went into the Skadi instead on Mamang Daya. Don't hate that.
Smoke up from Apes. Savage on the high ground. They're a little bit split. They do not have Hyde along with Makoto with them, but Savage has the Aegis for another minute 10. Smoke's going to pop. So, Delaw's going to reveal their position. They're still stalking the Deucer, but you do not want him. KP is the ideal target, but once again, Q is always in a position where it's so difficult to get these key components.
He's got a lot of gold as well on KP. If you wanted to buy that Aeon Disc, he could. I gotta say it again about UK. Like, I feel like this Midas, sure, it feels kind of nice. You know, he's got a little bit of extra health now, whoopee. But the Pipe of Insight doesn't really feel like it does much of anything this game. You know, where is really the magic damage coming out from? I don't think that's the main concern. The main concern right now is being able to do enough damage before they get off these key abilities or physical.
Is he in trouble?
All that movement speed, bro, from the shard.
Flies on out of there. He just got to tick out in 10, but they've gotten all the outer towers, but they haven't been able to breach the high ground.
They haven't breached the high ground, but they've taken complete map control away. You know, Apes are hemmed inside their own base right now. There's no real way they can move to anywhere on the map right now. And so you're a Deucer, right? You're just going to continue to extend this net worth lead. And if they make a poor move, they're going to play around their high ground, play around their vision. You have the ability to counteract this. This is a level 24 Medusa. What level's Jug? At 19. You do. They see Lina there and they're like, all right, high ground it is, boys.
KP's even going to split just to try and help with the siege.
Why not?
Back, yeah. You got 2 charges. May as well pop them out.
He's hunting for one of the cores just to toss him in the air.
And they're going to do just that.
Taking out Mamang Daya, forcing the glyph at least with a lot of this split push going on.
Oh, Sliver now if Savage wants it. Let's go Paladin and Sword. Both very good neutral items. What do you give? He gave the Sliver to Savage and then he sent it back straight away. He's like, no, I don't want that. I want the bottle instead.
Not this filth.
Even though it's a 4,000 deficit, it just feels like they are really far out of reach of this game on Apes.
It does. You know, it's a little unfortunate. And again, this is without Savage having level 25 as well. So the split shot modifiers are going to come into effect as well. I have Skadi, Daedalus. It's pretty deadly.
Kodo? I think up the BKB jumped into the smoked up Apes. But they're looking at TP out. UK will make it. Delu's going to TP in their face as well. It is kind of...
All right.
Revealing some of the issues on Talon's draft, but again, it's not too much of a concern in this game with them being ahead.
KP now buying that Aeon Disc as well, so he's got that plus essentially the buyback gold as well. So feeling very safe, his decision.
That's really important now for KP. He should always get his ultimate off.
Well,
if he puts the Aeon inside the inventory, okay, he's got Q behind him. And now Mamang Daya has been soul binded together. Rana and him need to retreat away, just sacrificing UK's life. They've been cycling up Jikroy as well outside the base. A nice reaction with the blink. Savage a little bit too late to follow up there, but now with the kill on Ogre, they're going to step up. They've got catapults as well.
Savage 25 yet? Not quite. I mean, I'm thinking maybe you can go for a buyback here. You did use the Laguna Blade, but by far the Sonic Wave and the BKBs on Talon are the more important cooldowns. Just, you can't wait. You can't let him get level 25, surely.
Well, they might just get it off the back of kills, feasting onto Apes as heroes. Ghost Scepter giving some time for Delul. Primal Split used the second charge. It should be a free set of barracks. Savage hesitant though. Come on. Just wants to hit from the low ground.
Radiant's middle barracks
I'll get up.
has fallen.
I know we've highlighted a lot of Makoto's like big plays, but even just the tiny things, right? Like again, they'd used a lot of BKBs, they'd used a lot of their resources at the time on Talon to be able to survive and get that that melee racks. But just the decision to Shadow Strike onto the Sand King when he didn't have at the time a Yule Scepter means that he's not going to have the ability to break off the Blink Interrupter essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, which
the
is
only way that they can look to commit to the fight.
100% right. Like, how do they actually start unless it's the little Sad King being able to get the initiation? You know, it's...
I saw that during the start, by the way. Are you liking the ends of the names? The Sad King playing the Sand King. You've got UK
cute.
or UK's cute. You've got Mamang Dai looking for a team.
Because they were all had their girlfriend. It was mainly Mamang Dai, right? Lim's got V. I swear Mamang Dai had his... Or maybe that was DB, actually. That's Army Genius. That's the old other Army Geniuses lads.
True.
Yeah, they've all got their girlfriends' names behind them, but we always mention that. It seems like those names keep changing pretty frequently. Savage with just beasts behind his name, and everyone else is boring. KP and Q got none. Hyde's got none.
No, he has... So, KP has none, but Hyde has literally nothing. Like, he's got a space. So he does have a suffix because he's got the
Dire's
dot,
bottom tower is under
but he's got
attack.
nothing beyond that.
So at least it's something better than KP having absolutely nothing.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
Tower is under
Gotta
attack.
have
There you
like
go.
.Strayo or something, surely. Come on.
Yeah, come on, KP. Put a little bit of respect on the Aussies. Like, you're the only one left standing for us. Guy level 25.
Yeah, got the attack range. That's typically the way that you beat out this Medusa as well. So it's holding on to the Dragon Lance. Unfortunately, didn't, I believe, have a Grove Bow to be able to choose from. Otherwise, he would have been loving that.
Is under attack.
But yeah, it just feels like, again, they're playing around their vision. They're choking out the map. They're looking to take this next big objective, which is the Roshan. At the time, 23 Savage had queued up the Aghanim Scepter, but he's not even going to need to do it. He's going to able to just get it from Roche for free, and then probably just buy the Aghanim Shard, buyback be damned, and to end the game with that. So it's gone a little bit later than we were expecting, but still,
Now, I said 42 something. I don't remember the seconds, but we're looking close. I did say Apes with the 42,
about
but
to say,
Apes,
yeah.
but hang on. Sure, it might be the wrong team, but still, if it's the right time, then we'll go with that. You got to get Mamang Dai outside the base, so he's going for this rapier. The honestly last win condition in a way, and we've seen what the Lina can do, even though he's now 9,000 net worth behind Savage because he did just get the Scepter Blessing.
So just sell the Null Talisman and at least buy up the relic itself just for the damage. I mean, maybe buying Demon Edge instead to protect that buyback potential. You could think that, oh, okay, he's going for a Monkey King Bar or something like that.
Yeah, you consider it. There you go. All right, gets rid of the null. No buyback. No need for it at a stage like this. As much damage as possible. As many items as well, but you're still shy of 1,500 gold on Mamang Dai.
And they're not shy at all on Talon about pushing up into the base. You can see KP respecting the fact that they don't have that set up to enable the Primal Split, just popping it nice and early. And what can you do to stop this? Or the Lul might just end up feeding his life away.
But he might. Doesn't have anyone to leash to. Gonna be cautious if he runs back to the team, but that's exactly where the avenue he needs to path the Savage jumps in as well with a Swift Link. And now Sand King's gonna be forced to buy back if they want to hold some form of objectives inside their territory.
Going for this attack speed build again on the Juggernaut. He's built up into a Moon Shard. He's got the Basher. He's got the Diffusal. But I mean, you've got an Aegis that you're coming up against. I'm not sure how effective that's going to be. Yeah, there's
Primal
that second
split.
split. This is just clinical. The Savage is just going to be hitting towers.
Wind Panda jumping from Dalul. A decent Burrow Strike onto two. Jikro's going to try and deal with the backline as well for the instant Hex. He doesn't even have an opportunity for the Blade Fury. His Talon cut away the life of the carry. Now it's all on Mamang Dai. Hang on, look at the damage. So is Savage. Couple more right clicks. standing his ground off the back of the Paladin sword, but the first life will be claimed. You have to respect the Lena's damage though. A setup for round 2, a Burrow Strike in, great position from Q. It's going to offset the stun, so Savage can instantly turn them back around.
I mean, he still feels pretty damn confident though. You used everything. They've got no ultimates left. They've got no BKBs available. Unfortunately for Mamang Daya, not quite enough for that Rapier, and that's going to be Megas.
Hello? Does he jump a Kodo? Oh, we missed the Burrow Strike, and now the blink. Savage straight onto Mamang Daya. No buyback. And the G's are dropped as Apes. That was a decent start. We saw a solid early game, but just the experience of Talon, too much for them to handle.
Yeah, that decision making just ended up biting them. You know, a lot of minor little mistakes coming in and becoming so much more. And you can see it means a lot to Savage. I'm sure he was just like, look, my team's just doing everything for me. All I need to do is right click. So, you know, a lot of happy conversations going on between KP.Straya as well as Hyde.
Happy? It sounds like they're working out how they can perfect their game even more, making sure they have a complete understanding. They want to go flawless, keep in mind. Us Dota players never want any deaths.
Yeah, we all want to be like Kami-sama from yesterday, right? What was it, like 32, something ridiculous, 0 deaths. But unfortunately for Apes, that is game number 1 that they're going to be losing. Just under 42 minutes, so you're a little bit shy. We all know it's closest without going over, so that is the Price is Right rules, and that's where you are wrong again today.
Oh, that's okay, that's okay. At least Talon, you know, we're able to see them continuing with their dominant run. Only game 1 still, but Apes, you know, they're able to show some sign of fight here, which is what we were looking for. We were kind of asking though for a little bit tempo early to try and utilize this diffusal and slow down Savage with that first Aegis, but unfortunately Talon, they just were able to stall out the game, and really what we saw was the Skadi and the Aghanims on Brewmaster was that big X factor. That's when Talon really got control of this game. And now, I guess that the top dogs with a game advantage, but who knows? We've seen a lot of the underdogs lately being able to take series, not only in this region, but also other regions as well. But Apes, can they send us to a game 3? We'll find out after the break.